Welcome back. This is the morning show right here on ETV. I can smell the goodies being cooked right there in the kitchen, and I can't wait to see what Sylvester's up to. But coming back to the news desk, of course, upon Dr. Kingsley Makhubela's appointment as CEO of Brand SA, Brand SA's chairperson Chichi Maponya welcomed his appointment, of course, saying the trustees, management, as well as the staff of Brand SA were certain that his experience in the public service would be invaluable in positioning South Africa as an investment destination of a choice. Now, this was back in 2015, and 3 years later, Dr. Makhubela is embroiled in allegations of sexual misconduct and other charges brought against his name, and he is here to, of course, give us a detailed account of what is going on. Dr. Makhubela, thank you for your time. Welcome.
Morning, Tumela.
Now, earlier on, of course, we understand that, Brand South Africa confirmed internal and external processes were underway following allegations of sexual misconduct against you. What is the latest with that case?
Well, actually, this is a serious comedy of error. First, allegations are made on the whistleblowing. I'm clear of those allegations. Promised a report. Instead of being given a report, same allegations are resuscitated. Investigation is conducted. But before that, and I must give credit to Minister Mukonyane, pressure is put on her to suspend me, because in terms of the trust deed, for them to suspend me as a board, they need to get a concurrence. She's not convinced about facts. So I spoke to the minister. The minister allowed them to suspend me so that they can conduct an investigation. So that tomorrow no one says, well, Kingsley was protected by politicians. Minister is reluctant. Eventually, a compromise is reached that I should take a leave of absence. I took a leave of absence. The investigation is conducted. Within a month, it's concluded, finished. Instead of being given a report, the report, which is supposed to be an independent report, is then called a board privilege report. It's not given to me. And some of the allegations that were contained there are quite ridiculous, that I watch pornography in the office. It has led to the collapse of the system in the office. I promoted 2 female colleagues because I have a sexual relationship with them. That's what it said. I mean, those are allegations that are leveled.
And you've never fought the investigation process. You've never fought, the due processes to be followed.
I subjected myself to that. I stayed home, allowed them to investigate, finished. They don't give me a report. They then come up with one issue and say, well, there's somebody who complained about sexual harassment. You're going to be taken to a hearing and you'll be charged for that. I said, okay, I'll subject myself to that. Went through this process. At the hearing, the presiding officer asked, what happened to the findings? Because there were like 18 allegations. What happened to them? No, he was cleared on all of them. And this one, we decided we would bring somebody who was sexual harassed. We're not going to use the report because this report is board privileged.
Were there any other additional charges that were brought forward besides those that you were aware of?
Well, no, there were a lot of things because the charges were saying inter alia. I mean, some of the allegations that were made against me is that I'm over-friendly to young female colleagues. And I said, what is it? No one could define it. I mean, it was quite a fishing expedition, but all of this was after I discovered some fraudulent activities within the organization. And I was about to institute a forensic investigation to deal with this thing. The very same people that I told the board are the ones who are involved running this thing. Later on, after I've been cleared, I mean, I got the report on the 5th, 5 days after the presiding officer made a verdict on this.
Okay.
It's given to me, clearing me on all this sexual misconduct. They are refusing to give it to me. I had to threaten the board to take them to court to get this report.
Have you been reinstated as of today?
No, actually, I'm not even suspended. I'm not fired. I'm just being prevented from going to work. They still pay me for staying home. Not fired, not suspended.
I wonder if at the same time, given the circumstances that you've been under and what you've gone through in terms of the investigation, if you want your job back, are you fighting to have your job back or just for justice to take place?
No, listen, I have to go back. I have to deal with this corruption thing at Brand South Africa. I have a lot of committed people who are there. If I were to jump boat, I mean, there have been insinuations that I should agree to take a payout for my contract. If I were to do that, I'll be a coward. I'm not about to be a coward. I'm going to deal with these issues. When people who are dealing with issues of corruption, there are 2 things they do. They try to assassinate your character. Failure to assassinate your character, they assassinate your soul. It means they kill you. Am I scared of that? No, I'm not going to be scared of that. I'm going to deal with this issue.
Yeah, you mentioned corruption being part of, the issues that are, of course, right now at Brand South Africa. Can you name examples that you've seen in terms of the corruption you've witnessed there?
Well, there were people who were manipulating tenders. I actually stopped a huge tender from being implemented. That's what caused this. And there are names of people who are implicated in that, and I wanted a forensic investigation to run into this thing so that we can take action.
And have you started the process?
No, before I could start it, that's when they make allegations. And they've managed to keep me out. Now I've been cleared. I mean, they bring some of the most ridiculous charges. Because I've been cleared, it's brought by the board because they're afraid that I should come back to the office. If I go there, I have to deal with this thing.
Right.
The functions of the accounting officer are clearly defined in terms of our laws.
Mr. Makhubela, let's hold it right there. We're going to come back to this conversation. Let's take a short break. And when we come back, we'll still have Mr. Kingsley Makhubela joining us in studio to talk about the allegations of sexual misconduct that have been brought against him. He, of course, has mentioned right on the show that he's been cleared of all allegations and all investigations reports have been completed, and he has been cleared. But we're still going to be talking about this discussion, including the corruption that he says exists at Brand South Africa. We'll be right back.